Salvete omnes. Magister Hodges here, and today I am going to go over your cultural synthesis or cultural analysis project. This is a pretty wide-ranging project that can take so many different forms. So I want you to just keep in mind that anything I talk about today, if you can change it, if you feel like it'll fit an idea that you have. The overall objective here is for you to look more deeply at some part of Roman culture and either create an informational thing about it, whether that be a video or a presentation or something else more creative, or to research a little bit about a Roman cultural topic and synthesize it or bring it into something else that you're already doing. And that'll probably make a little more sense once I get some more once I get into the assignment sheet here. So when from It's Learning, you are going to see a link for that is labeled Cultural Analysis and Synthesis Project Assignments. It'll bring you to this screen, which is in order from top to bottom and what you need to do. The very first thing here is our assignment sheet as well as the proposal survey. So I'm going to start here with the assignment sheet. Kind of go over this for you. So, like I just said, this project allows for a great deal of choice. If you are inclined to do something that doesn't necessarily fit into these guidelines, don't hesitate to propose your ideas to me anyway. We likely can make something work. If you have something you're interested in, I want to accommodate it. So the overall objective here, if you're going to do the analysis, which is the more informational side, is to examine a specific aspect of ancient Roman culture on its own or in comparison to modern culture, and to communicate your findings in a coherent and compelling way. Synthesis, like I said, that means bringing things together, is to research and then incorporate a distinct Roman influence into something you're creating that is otherwise non-Roman in a separate modern context. And I'll give you a bunch of explanation or examples of what that can look like later. Overall, Roman culture is a massive concept. Culture itself is defined as the customs, arts, social institutions, achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social group. That is how the dictionary defines it. Essentially, it is for us, a pattern of interactions, a pattern of materials, and a pattern of perspectives that are shared by a large group of people. And we're going to work on breaking those down and seeing what we can learn from them. So for this project, you'll pick an area of Roman culture to more closely examine through independent research, and you'll either be creating some type of informative product like a Google Slides presentation, a video. You can do it however you want. If you want to make an informative TikTok, go for it. That clearly just needs to clearly articulate a general overview of the part of Roman culture that you've chosen and proposed. Second, and this is for the synthesis, you are going to identify an aspect of Roman culture that you can incorporate into something else that you are doing, even if it's for another class. And I can show you, once again, I'll explain what that means later. I don't know, for those of you at Lambert, I'll have to, whatever you do for another class, you incorporate something Roman into it, we can make it work. Here at East, I'm kind of going and finding teachers where things may fit and seeing if they'd be cool with their students incorporating some Roman stuff on it. So it can be like one piece of work for two classes. I'll be pretty flexible with my virtual and Lambert students on that. Here's a long list of possible cultural topics. Culture is an insanely massive concept, so this is nowhere near exhaustive, but we're talking anything from like the Roman family, the patron-client relationship, basically legalized sugar daddies, Roman architecture, interior design, art, sculpture, pottery, cuisine, that's food and drink, farming, commerce, Roman baths, Roman dress, military training, campaigns, civil engineering, military engineering, triumphal parades, plebeians and patricians. Those are basically the common folk in the aristocracy. Religion, holidays, elections, funerals, propaganda, games, sports, poetry, letter writing, craftsmanship, theater, chariot racing, gladiatorial games, pets, jewelry making, medicine. Those are just some examples. If there's something you have in mind that's not on here, like music, I didn't even include music on here. If you're interested in that, go for it. So what you'll do is you're going to pick one or a few topics you'd be interested in exploring further, and you are going to fill out the survey, which is the which is this other assignment right here, or other item here in the same assignment. Then once you have filled this out and the proposal has been accepted, you'll begin independently researching your topic. I'm leaving it up to you guys to try your best to determine, good sources versus bad sources. If you have a question about something or you're like, I'm having a really hard time finding information, please reach out to me and let me know. I'd love to help you. While researching, you're going to keep track of your findings and sources, either on your own document. You can just make notes if you want, but it does need to be documented. The other way that you can document your research is by filling out the cultural analysis pyramid graphic organizer that I've provided for you. That is down here in assignment number 2. Then after that, I would ask that you take one resource that you thought was good, whether it be a YouTube video, Wikipedia link, article, book, anything, a movie even. And I would ask that you go to our class Padlet and share it, and that will be down here in the 3rd assignment. You can see here that I've actually already added some things for y'all. Got some for Roman ship and a replica of a warship, Roman pottery, Roman military, Lupercalia is a religious festival. Here's some Pascha and lard. And Roman gladiator training. I just linked a bunch of videos. There are some really good YouTube videos out there. It's not the most rigorous scholarly source, but it's not bad either. And you can learn a lot as long as the person knows what they're talking about. So if you're unsure, once again, about where to look, just ask me. I'll help you find something. All right. And then lastly, down here, this last assignment is to just submit the cultural analysis project or whatever you did. All right. So here it is. If you're doing the cultural analysis, that's creating an informative resource that describes your topic. You can create an informative presentation, video, or product you feel that best encapsulates your topic. A good cultural analysis details the products, practices, and perspectives, people, and communities that are related to the overall topic and shows how this cultural topic ties these things together and contributed to overall Roman life and culture. The synthesis. If you're doing the synthesis, is more the creative side of it. That means you're going to try and incorporate some aspect of your cultural element into something else that is not specifically for this class. There's so many possibilities for this. So all I can really do is give you some examples of ones that students have done in the past that I thought were excellent. Now, keep in mind, these are exemplars. These are not the expectation. These kids went pretty much above the expectation in a lot of ways. But these are good examples of how you can incorporate it into another class or a hobby. So, for example, one girl did Roman interior design. She created a dream house as part of a project for her interior design class. After researching Roman interior design elements, she then used different colors, materials, patterns inspired by Roman design in a modern way in the interior design project. She then wrote a brief explanation for me of how she made her design choices based off what information, and turned it in as one general project for interior design. But for her little written explanation and the work she already did, that grade counted for Latin as well. For Roman pottery, similar idea. Had a student who was in a ceramics 2 class, and for her synthesis, she recreated 3 different types of Roman pottery. She put non-Roman designs on it, but artistic designs, paint and carvings, but the pots themselves were made very similar to how a Roman pot was made. I thought that was very interesting. She did a brief written explanation for me, or maybe she even did a video explanation for me. And then she submitted that, and it counted for a grade both in ceramics 2 as well as Latin. For Roman military training, there was a student who used that as the topic in an ELA narrative essay that I thought he did a really good job really getting into the mindset of someone who was probably going through Roman military training, and included a lot of details about very specific Roman things that were based on the research that he did for this class. Once again, that was turned in as a grade for ELA, and he didn't even have to do anything extra. He also handed it in here as well, and he also received a grade for it. Last one was Roman fishing. This was probably my favorite one. There was a kid, he did not do this for another class. He just really liked fishing. So for he proposed his project would be on Roman fishing. He recreated a very simplistic old Roman style fishing pole, and he recorded himself going out on Lake Lanier and catching some fish with it. And it was pretty funny. The video during the video, while he's sitting there waiting for fish, he's just kind of describing how Romans would have done it. It's a 5-minute video. Took him however long to make the pole and get out on the lake. He said he spent about an hour on the lake fishing with it, and he was done. So those are some examples of things you can do if you're going with the synthesis. One is not inherently better than the other. Feel like the analysis is a little more straightforward, but if you're more of that creative mind, or you have something you think would be interesting to you, definitely consider the synthesis option. This is going to be graded on this cultural proficiency rubric right here. Essentially, advanced is kind of where I hope everybody ends up. Basic. So an advanced response. Your analysis or synthesis explores and connects the cultural practices, products, and perspectives of your cultural topic, providing a clear picture of the importance of that cultural element in Roman life. And it's really just relating everything to each other. You'll see an intermediate, it really connects only 2 of the 3 practices, products, and perspectives. The novice really only goes into detail on 1 of those 3. And that's kind of what I'm generally looking for. Once again, since this can take any medium, there's nothing really about written length or anything like that. I'm looking for a beginning, middle, and end. We'll talk more about the cultures framework, that idea of practices, perspectives, and products making up the major elements of culture. But that's basically it for the explanation of this. Here are your deadlines right here. May 6th into the virtual week. Would like for you to have finished your proposal and brainstorm survey. By the 11th, I would like for you to have completed your cultural analysis pyramid or some note taking. Submit that, as well as share at least 1 source of yours on the class Padlet. Capitalize that. And then lastly, the due date for this is May 18th, which is the Wednesday before, which is the Wednesday of finals week. So that's basically it. And outside of that, I don't really think there's anything else I need to go over. This one, like I said, there are a lot of elements to this, and it can take a lot of different forms. So definitely take your time thinking about what you'd like to do. Whatever you put in your proposal, you're not stuck with it. If you decide you want to change it, that's fine. But I would like for everybody to do their best to get that completed as soon as possible, so I have an idea of what people are working with. And do not hesitate to message me and ask for help. So that's all I got. Much love and walete.